This is definitely the most ruthless situation I've ever seen. The mother, upon seeing her daughter being groped by her new husband while practicing yoga, remained outwardly calm. She quietly picked up a deadly little orchid, added some cheap fruit, and poured it into a juicer. Soon, a fresh juice perfect for sleep was ready. With a smile, she handed it to her husband, who drank it without a second thought, oblivious to what was coming. He took a big gulp and soon drove out. On the way, he started feeling increasingly dizzy. Wanting to shake off the dizziness with some juice, he unknowingly drank his way to meet his maker. At the funeral, the daughter was shocked by the sudden death of her stepfather, but when she turned around, she saw her mother performing with all her might.
Kenny was the best. The best. After being a single mother for so long, he was like a godsend. And he was wonderful with Virginia and Austin. He treated them like his very own. He was a generous angel. And I can't believe he's gone.
The ex-wife, suspicious of her performance at the funeral, especially regarding her reaction to her former husband's death, decided to quietly investigate her. After the funeral, Georgia inherited her 8th husband's fortune and moved with her daughter and son to a new town. While packing the house, the friendly neighbor came over to say hello. Shocked by the fact that Georgia looked only in her early 30s but her daughter was already close to 20, the neighbor learned that Georgia had remarried when she was a teenager due to her mother's enduring domestic violence from her stepfather. She ran away from home but found herself in a strange city, unsure of how to live as a young girl. Luckily, she met a kind-hearted woman named Mama-san. The first time Mama-san took her to a bar, she met a young black man who was Georgia's first husband and Annie's biological father. If she remembered correctly, her youngest son was from her 6th husband. After moving to the new town, Georgia went to pick up her son from school, only to find him being bullied. She quickly marched over, called the little chubby boy to a secluded spot, gave him a lesson, and then told her son to stand up for himself.
You know what? I think you were right. Austin fell and broke his glasses just like you fell and broke your nose, understand?
Afterward, while threatening the little bully, Georgia took him to find his mother. The mother, thinking that her son had fallen, kept thanking Georgia. Georgia said it was the least she could do and reminded them to be more careful in the future. That evening, when Annie was about to go to bed, a young man suddenly crawled through the window.
What are you doing here?
The guy thought he was very handsome and kept flattering Annie. Although Annie was naive and inexperienced, she wasn't a fool. The guy then made his move and Annie lost her first kiss.
I know you were on that date tonight. Maxine won't shut up about how perfect you and Hunter are, and I can't stop thinking so much. The other day when you grabbed me,
A minute and 38 seconds later, the guy acted as if nothing had happened, but Annie had lost her most precious thing and was now forced to promise to keep the secret. As expected, all men were the same. The next day, Annie saw the guy and he kissed her, making him awkward when a car drove by and the person inside was his girlfriend. Annie wished she could disappear into the ground. This scene was witnessed by his mother, Georgia, who immediately began lecturing her daughter. But Annie wasn't listening. The mother and daughter had a big fight and Annie slammed the door.
You were the guy?
Austin, it's...
Though Georgia had been married 8 times, her care for her children was genuine. The next day, she went to her daughter's school. Her beauty caught the attention of the classmates. Annie was not happy about her mother's visit, but Georgia gave her a big surprise, a car full of hamburgers and milk tea. The two reconciled over the meal. Georgia encouraged her daughter to date and even introduced her to a boyfriend. They had a pleasant conversation while eating. The handsome young man was funny and charming, but after dinner, the well-behaved young man walked Annie home. When they parted, he gave her a hug, which left him feeling a bit disappointed.
Ooh! Mom, please, grow up. That was one steamy hug. Thank you for respecting my privacy and having normal mother-daughter boundaries. You're welcome.